Do you have a lot to balance? Life is a balancing act, right? Work, kids, health, home. There always seems to be too many things to do, too many things demanding your attention. There's so many people these days who seem to be searching for a work-life balance. But what I've discovered is balance is not something you find, it's something you create for yourself. And today I'd like to share with you some tips that may help with this. Hi, I'm Nicolene. I am the Flamekeeper. I'm an energy healer and spiritual coach. Do you know that we're coming up to the Spring Equinox here in the Southern Hemisphere? This is going to happen on Friday, the 23rd of September, in just a few days' time. Did you know that the word equinox comes from two Latin words, equi, meaning equal, and nox, meaning night? The reason for this is because on this day we will receive both equal hours of daylight and hours of night. So what's happening here is the earth is actually coming into a balance, a state of balance. And at this time, you are offered an opportunity to do the same. On the day of the equinox, there is a thinning of the veils, and that means that we can connect more easily to the guidance that we can receive from the spiritual realms. The energy of this equinox is also a time really to bring balance into your life as the earth goes into balance herself. So think about how you can bring balance into both your mental, emotional, physical and spiritual self as a whole. You're probably familiar with the Taoist Yin and Yang symbol. So this encompasses the spiritual tradition of bringing together two sides to make one complete whole. And in this case, they separate the two forms of energy, the male energy and the female energy, into two colors, light and dark. So yin energy, which is the female energy, can be attributes like rest, intuition, surrender, flow, creativity, surrender. And yang energy can be things like taking action, using logic, being extroverted, using intellect, using force. What the Taoists believe, and this is a basic principle for the time right now that we're in, the spring equinox, is that when we bring together the two sides of ourselves and we balance them, that's when we come into cohesive whole. So when you become balanced, you become more centered. And this means that you're not in either polarity. So you're not in the polarity of overgiving until you're exhausted and you have nothing left to give and you feel like you've been used. And you're not in the polarity which is overtaking, where you just take and you don't give anything back in return. You see, there's a beautiful harmony that comes into play when you give and take. That is how it's like a in-breath and an out-breath, like that. And that's when we can become whole and become centered. Another way to look at it is there are times to make plans, to set goals and have logic and steps to move towards those goals. But then there's also time to sit back and surrender and say, okay, I've made these goals, now I'm going to hand them over to the universe and surrender the outcome to a divine power for the highest good of all. At this time of the spring equinox, when the whole earth is coming into harmonious alignment and into perfect balance, the act of balancing your life is highly supported. And so I encourage you to plug into the energy of this and to really connect to it and to see what changes you can make in your own life. So to help you with this, I've created some journal prompts. You can find them in the comments below. You can download it as a PDF and fill it in. But you can really just ask yourself, where in my life am I out of balance? Where do I need to make some changes? Thanks so much for joining me. I'm wishing you a happy spring equinox in the Southern Hemisphere. And if you've enjoyed this, please like my video. And if you'd like some more hot tips from me, the Flamekeeper, for everyday grounded spirituality, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.